Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at A.X.E. Judgment Day Issue 2. This is a mini-series from Marvel Comics in 2022, written by Kieron Gillen, art by Valerio, Schiti, Marte, Garcia, color artist, VC's Clayton, Cowles, letterer. Mark Brooks did the cover art, assistant editor Martin Biro, Annalise Bissa was the associate editor, Tom Brevoort editor. So we start off with 6 rando people that are probably going to die once an Eternal gets killed. I'm guessing that's what it is, and they have various jobs and political leanings or whatever. And of course, one of them is tweeting, and another one worries about reviews online because that's what the people that write comic books worry about. And then we get into a battle at Krakoa where the Hexes are attacking and doing a pretty good job. The Avengers immediately drop in to help the X-Men and talk about how awesome they are, and Captain America asks why they didn't tell everything to the Avengers. He says, Cyclops, after everything we've been through, I wish you'd have told us. And Cyclops is like, after everything? How could we? The X-Men come off really poorly in this. I think they come off very, very arrogant and condescending. Of course, they're also threatening to attack the Avengers because they're not permitted on the glorious fatherland of the Ethno state because they're just filthy humans. So there's that. And when the Avengers have to take off to stop a lot of people from dying from tidal waves and tsunamis over multiple places like Papua New Guinea, the Philippines, the US, Australia, Japan, one of the Krakoans says they're abandoning us. Oh yeah, well I'm sorry that your filthy, degenerate, lowly human scum have to go help some innocent people when you can all just resurrect and not die. Of course there's validation in the parting too, because Captain America's like, thank you Scott, you're heroes. One day people will see you as you really are. They leave the allegory for the fatherland. Then we see the attempts to resurrect the Celestial going on, more fighting, somebody dies because one of the Celestials has to be resurrected, and they do eventually awaken the Celestial, and he's been narrating the book, and there's a shocking twist. As I expected, they're really lionizing the X-Men and making them the good guys in this because the X-Men are allegory of the month, insert here, and it's really kind of tiresome. The Eternals are split. There's 2 factions of them, the attackers who are run by Droog, and then the faction that's in Lemuria, like A.X.E and Cersei and those guys. So there's no nuance to it. It's just Celestials seem to be the bad guys for the most part, and the holy Krakoans of the Fifth Reich, of the X-Men, are seen as the good guys. The Celestial seems to be pretty close to changing that, but the way people talk in this is really boring. Mr. Sinister comes off like a teenage girl on Twitter, and the X-Men come off as a bunch of ethno-staters, like I would expect, and then the Avengers are just kind of there. And every time the Avengers do something, both sides seem mad, so they're probably the only people in here that are even trying to do anything right. I was really bored with this issue. The art is okay. Some of the people's faces look weird, and that's kind of annoying, but the action scenes were pretty good. I just don't care about this storyline. There's not enough detailing, and they're kind of rushing through a lot of things. Like, we don't really know anything about these hexes, and the battles are just interspersed with other things happening. And these 6 individuals that are going to end up getting killed by resurrecting Celestials are meaningless filler in the book. And it's a short book too, and at $5 it's not worth it. It's on garbage paper that sticks to your fingers and the ink comes off so you can see your fingerprints. So it's really cheap paper. I hated that. And like I said, the art's fine overall in this issue, but the story, the way people talk is real disjointed and almost unnatural because it's more like you're reading somebody's online Twitter post than how people actually would have a conversation. So I didn't care for that. I might give this another issue, but only if I get it at a discount. So this was really tiresome. It was almost a chore to read, and it's not a long book, so there's no reason for that. There's just so much meaningless garbage in here that really didn't need to be there. So I'm not real impressed. It's just another, at best, mediocre book from Marvel. Not worth the cover price, mostly because of the cheap paper they put it on, and I'm not going to recommend it. I'm really disappointed with this. It could have been a much more interesting miniseries, but it's really not that engaging, and it's not really seeming like it's getting anywhere, and that's partly because they are rushing through the action scenes, and they're focusing on this unimportant drivel. Like, yes, we know that people die when the Celestial's brought back. We don't need the in-depth showing of that. That's boring. You could just offhandedly mention a human dies in a caption box, and that would probably have more impact than these wasted dialogue scenes where people are standing standing around eating and whatnot while we learn that they're tweeting and one guy is on the internet. I don't care about that. That's meaningless drivel. Save it for the Lifetime movie. This should be more focused on the core story and not these meaningless side tangents. So yeah, I'm not going to recommend it. If you're going to pick this up, get it out of a bargain bin for $2 or less. Beyond that, I don't think this has the longevity of an actual event book. This seems more like a pet project to kind of bolster the X-Men a little more and make the Avengers out to be bad guys. That's the only thing I'm getting from this. So I'm not really interested. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.